Well, you can say it's a final reckoning for the Mission Impossible franchise. Did it live up to its glorious expectations from what is one of the best franchises from beginning to end? Or did it peter off at the end and kind of leave with a soft whimper? I'm going to go more with the latter, and we're going to talk about it right now. That's right, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning hits theaters this weekend, and I got a chance to watch it in IMAX today, and I have a lot of different thoughts on this movie. First up, Tom Cruise always delivers in stunts where he can, and this movie is no different with a couple different stunt scenes, but mainly one dealing with an underwater submarine, and as you see in the trailers, a plane type, stunt work that goes beyond what we had previously in other movies, like Ghost Recon, or I forget what that Mission Impossible is called. What I will say, though, in this movie is while it delivers the stunts, it raises the stakes to, I think, an unbelievable amount that it takes away what I think makes Mission Impossible work well. And that, to me, is the intimate chemistry and the intimacy of importance between Ethan Hunt and all of the people he's working with. And in this movie, they're so disconnected because of the plot of this movie. You don't get that for the majority of the movie, even though there's a richness of cast all around Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Instead, it feels like we're bloating up this very big AI final boss to be even more not fulfilled out like I can. And it just causes for me this movie to just be disjointed and to miss what I think works one of the best in this series, which is the chemistry Ethan has with his crew. He has no idea what is up for his crew. We're watching some stuff and the struggles they're going with, kind of in their own Mission Impossible type mission. But that, missing of chemistry between like Benji and Ethan and Ethan Luther, Haley Atwell's character's Grace. It does hurt this movie, in my opinion. And so much of this first part of the movie was like plot to plot to plot. They knew, Dead Reckoning Part 1 originally did not have the biggest audience as they hoped for. So they're like, people show up for this movie, we gotta explain the whole last movie because these movies are Part 1 and Part 2 in reality. And this one really tried to be part 2 of that movie and also be the final Mission Impossible movie the whole entire way around. And I'm talking about trying to make connections to multiple different Mission Impossible movies and trying to create some big thread that everything was supposed to happen for a reason. And I don't think that this movie needed that. I think there was so much focus and so much, talk about it that I feel like it didn't work this movie out well. And the ending of the movie, in my opinion, I don't think definitively closes the door on both the adversaries of this movie as well as Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise, and Mission Impossible itself. It leaves it off very much at an angle where you could see the thing go forward, but nobody is going to do it. Potentially here, we'll have to see. And it just, again, it really just has an issue with that per se. And when you think of the villain, the AI villain in this movie was not as interesting as the first time around. In fact, the villain was more the stunts Tom Cruise had to do and less the objective at hand in terms of dealing with an adversary. The AI pretty much gave Tom Cruise what he needs to do and how to get it done, assuming that he'll just fail. And I thought that was a pretty boring plotline, especially if you know Ethan Hunt as a character. And then Gabriel comes back in this movie and is so underutilized, and it should be a character that, honestly, I might have killed off screen in the beginning of the movie and create a different bad guy for the end. Because I think it was just very poor from beginning to end with Gabriel. So overall, I'm not the biggest fan of Final Reckoning. In my opinion, this might be the worst Mission Impossible movie of this series, which says a lot because there's been a lot of great Mission Impossible movies, and it's been held up to a high standard, but it gets lost in trying to be a finale, mixed in with the part 2, mixed in with the whole entire world knows that this mission is happening, and Ethan Hunt is the last hope, that it misses the intimate connections for Ethan, his crew, and what allows us to connect with these characters beyond just the incredible stunt works, the great score, the great sound work, and the great visuals. It's that character core, and we missed that this entire movie, and it's why Final Reckoning for me is getting a middling silver rating, because I think if you're a fan of the stunts and you want to go in, you'll probably enjoy this movie a lot. But if you haven't seen Dead Reckoning in a while, and you're really not going to survive the story element, I do worry that this movie is going to kind of come out as like a slob and a slog for you, because I think it does not do itself well with the telling of the plot, with the separating and the non-contact of all the characters. And it's trying to weave everything back together from the whole series or not. But tell me if your opinion is different in the comments. I look forward to seeing them. Like and subscribe to the channel here as we get more into summer movie season. And I will see you guys all around for Lilo and Stitch up next.